And I'm gonna say this, man. If you've seen videos of the eclipse, if you've seen pictures of the eclipse, you didn't see what was actually being displayed. I've seen a lot of great pictures and videos on the gram, and I can see them, but I'm like, there's no way like what people actually saw wasn't that.
If you missed today's eclipse, you'll have another chance in the year 2024. That's the year that Texas will see a total solar eclipse. This is Pat Couch, the Texas News.
At ease, brothers. Man, I want to talk about this eclipse we just had a couple of days ago, right? And I know this isn't my conversation. I'm not into stars and moons and alignments and all that kind of stuff. But I'll say this. I now understand why all the hoopla is around it. And I now understand, for my own personal reason, the significance around an eclipse. I get it now, right? And I'll say this, man. And when I say all the hoopla, I can remember, I guess about a week ago, I was seeing like either old news articles or old video or something of maybe this was in the 70s or 80s. I can't remember, where they were saying, hey, the next eclipse is coming in 2024. And at the time, I'm like, why are they so intrigued by something that's not taking place for several years? But I understand it now, right? So long story short, man, I planned on partaking in it, going out, looking at it like I did a few years ago. I believe the last one came through in 2017, 18. I was just living down the road, and I remember going outside and looking at that one. But this one was different, man. But again, I planned on partaking and going out and observing. And I remember I was sitting here reading around, 12 o'clock, noon, and I can remember I was passed out, bro. I fell asleep reading. And Lynn texted me at 12:23. I can remember specifically, because when she texted me, it woke me up, and she was saying like something about the eclipse, like, you gonna go out and see it, or you gonna take pictures and all this stuff. And she was asking what time it started. So what time does the eclipse start? And I remember woke up and I Googled it, and it said, boom, 12:23. I said, it's starting right now. In other words, I'm thinking, man, divine timing. I said, it's starting right now, but it's not the total eclipse until like 1:40. So I go outside and look, man, and it looks, everything looks the same. It's a different vibe outside, of course, right? So I come in and do what I was doing, whatever I was wrapping up for another 20, 30 minutes. And then I say, I'm going to get my daily walk in, man. So, I put my stuff on, man, and I'm walking. And I'm walking through the neighborhood. I'm probably about maybe just a quarter mile down the road, right? And I see people in their yards and my neighbors, some of them are laying in the grass on their back, and they have makeshift shades on. They're looking through boxes and all this kind of stuff. And it's giving me the vibes of like a comet is coming, or we're about to watch a spaceship take off. Like that's the vibe I'm getting from everybody, right? So I found this, there was I don't know if you call those electrical boxes, they have them in between so many houses. I can remember sitting on one of these boxes and kind of just looking up. And bro, that's when I first saw the whole, it's starting, right? Where the moon is doing a certain thing and it's partially covering the sun. And I was like, okay, I didn't see this last time. Like, I remember experiencing it last time, but I didn't see this. So I was like, man, like this is wild. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people were complaining about the clouds and all this stuff. But for me, I couldn't see it until the clouds covered it. Like, when I was just looking at straight sun, it was just a straight ball of fire, right? But when the clouds came is when I could see it, right? And I said, okay, man, this is going to be something. It's going to be a vibe, right? So, long story short, again, so it's this festive vibe. Everybody's around, man. So I said, I'm gonna get up and just start my walk. We still had another 20 minutes till the full eclipse or whatever, right? And I go to the edge of the neighborhood, man. And there's a big like park at the edge of the neighborhood, and it's getting real close. It's probably about 7 or 8 minutes before the full eclipse. And what I started observing first was it was getting very blue. And y'all saw this. It was getting very blue outside. And that's when I remembered the last one. I said, you know what? I can remember now why the last, like what I remember about the last eclipse, everything just started turning like a bluish gray. Like the plants and the trees start looking funny, man. Everything just looks funny. So I sit down right there at the park. I'm sitting on like the sign that leads into the back end of the neighborhood. You know, I'm just kind of posted up on this sign, right? And like there's nobody out. It's just me in this big field, right? The only people I could see was like a family in their yard. It was like a husband and wife and their 2 kids, probably about a football field away, give or take. And I can kind of hear them out there. Anyway, long story short, bro. I remember taking some videos and pictures, and now it's the time for the full eclipse to take place. And I'm looking up, man, and I can see it changing. I can see things getting closer. It's getting dark, right? I remember seeing the middle of the day. It went from being shiny bright, street lights are coming on, and you know, it's getting dark outside. And this sign that I'm sitting on, like it's getting so dark where it triggers the lights to the sign I'm sitting on. So the light just shines right up in my face from the ground. So I stand up, and at that point, it's probably about 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes before it's a full eclipse. Again, man, I'm sitting there recording, and by the time it gets to a full eclipse, I'm telling you, now I understand, bro. I understand the significance about it, right? Because this is the thing. I'm sitting there recording, and it's happening, right? It's taking place. I'm recording, and I'm looking at my phone, and I can see the moon within the sun or whatever, right? But I'm sitting there recording this, and I'm like, man, this is dope. But I'm gonna tell you what happened, bro. I peeked my head from around my cell phone, and it's like the moment I did that, again, you have to understand there was nobody around me except this family in the distance. The moment I peeked my head around my cell phone, I heard my whole neighborhood gasp, right? In other words, what I heard was, it sounded like I was in a football stadium, a Super Bowl, and there was silence. And then like the reaction somebody would have is if someone got injured or something major happened, like that whatever noise that is, that or that what, you know, I heard the entire neighborhood gasp, bro. Like it was, you know, and what I saw, man, what I saw was something that can't be recreated. Again, I'm looking at I'm looking at this eclipse, and I'm looking at my cell phone, and it got to the point after maybe 5 or 6 seconds where I stopped recording, because I said, what I'm looking at, it can't be recreated. And I'm gonna say this, man. If you've seen videos of the eclipse, if you've seen pictures of the eclipse, you didn't see what was actually being displayed. I've seen a lot of great pictures and videos on the gram, and I can see them, but I'm like, there's no way, like what people actually saw wasn't that. Wasn't that, man. And the first thing I thought about when I'm looking at this, man, is I remember seeing, I believe it was a YouTube video. Man, this might have been a decade ago, man. And it was a man sharing, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he died. He was sharing his afterlife events. Like, this man had been dead for several minutes. Like, he was gone before he came back. And this older gentleman was saying, man, I went to this place. Like, I was in this place. And he said the thing that stood out was all the colors were different. He said, you know, we see colors here. We see reds and blues and greens. He said it was nothing. And this place was different. Like, the colors had life. It made everything here look dull. And for some reason, I saw this maybe a decade ago, and for some reason, that's what came to my mind. I said, you know what I'm seeing, like my brain was trying to digest it. Like, the way the light was looking, the way the colors were looking around it. I said, my brain is trying to really interpret this. interpret this, man. And it made me really understand, again, for me personally, the significance behind what was going on, right? What it showed me, man, for me, I think that the eclipse is just a reminder, bro. It's just a reminder. And when I say that is, like, we can look at all the beautiful things on this planet, whether it's the beautiful women, whether it's the beautiful men, whether it's the beautiful, pieces of jewelry we can buy, the beautiful homes and cars. And man, it's a lot of beautiful things on this planet, bro. But I'll be honest, man, I've never in my life seen something so, and I use the word beautiful because I don't know what else to say. I've never seen anything that put me into a state of awe to the point where I stopped breathing to look at it because it didn't seem natural to my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I think that it was just, the whole eclipse, man, is just God's way of reminding us that I am. Reminding us that, like, hey, you know what? This world is a great place. Experience it. Do live the life in my image, but don't forget that I am. Don't forget that I am still that source. That I am still God. Don't get lost in the sauce. Like, I'm going to show you a glimpse of something to trigger something in your mind to remind you of that, so you can remember that, man. That's what it did to my brain, bro. That's what it did to my brain, man. And I'll say another thing that registered in my mind is that God can't be recreated. You know what I'm saying? Again, a lot of people took pictures, man. A lot of people, even I'll go to the point where even with AI being something that's popping right now, AI is like the go-to. AI can recreate all of this stuff. AI can't recreate this. AI can get close to, but this is something, man, that AI can't create this. It can't create this, man. So it was just a reminder, bro, of what God is and that power and that what this world is and that there's more to understand, that it was deep, man. It did something to my brain, bro. This is something that I wanted to share though. Like once it started passing, man, and once like the sun started coming, started getting shiny again in like a regular day in a matter of, minutes, I can remember still sitting in the same spot, man, getting ready to walk back, toward the house. And man, I ain't gonna lie, for about, I'll say 15 to 30 seconds, I went into a state of, I don't want to say the word depression, right? But I went into a state of, I don't know what else to call it, man, where I'm gonna say it like this, where I no longer even wanted to be on this planet, bro. Not like delete myself type energy, but like, bro, like, in other words, I welcome death so much. I welcomed what was after this life so much, man. And it sent me to this state, bro. I'll say it like this. If there would have been some kind of ladder or staircase that descended from the sky and said, "Soul, come on up here and join us, brother." I'm going to tell you this. I wouldn't have thought twice. I wouldn't have picked up my phone and said, well, let me text mom and them. Let me text everybody and tell them I'm gone. Brother, I would have dropped everything and went yonder ways. I mean, y'all would have found Soul's body saying, I don't know, Soul had a heart attack or whatever this world would have deemed happened to me. Who cares? I would have been gone without even thinking about it. That's the power of what I saw. That's the power. That's the switch that it hit inside of me. Would have even thought about it, right? So anyway, on my walk home, I'm thinking about, I'm just kind of putting a lot of pieces together, man. Just kind of reflecting on, I didn't even put my headphones back in, but I'm like, I don't want to hear no music, nothing. I just want to absorb what's taking place inside, right? And it just put me in a state of gratitude. It put me in a state of peace. It put me in a state of trusting, right? And I was like, you know what? That was a good experience. Let me continue on with life, you know? But then the reason, one reason why I want to talk about it, man, is because this morning when I got up, I woke up this morning, man, and I see this video on Instagram about something that some people witnessed during the eclipse.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. Oh, shit. What's that? What's that?
Yo, what the
And I witnessed this, man, and I'll promise you, this is something that I was going to take to my grave. Something I experienced, man. Again, I'm in this field by myself. I was going to take this to my grave, right? So again, it's about 3 minutes until the eclipse started. And again, I remember this because I remember texting Lynn. I was texting Lynn. I was like, yeah, it's changing. It's getting dark, yada, yada, yada. I said, but it's about 3 minutes until the full eclipse, right? And I can remember when I sent that text, I picked my phone back up and I'm recording. And man, I see something in the sky. I see something to like it's way and it's in the sky and it's coming and it's going to my right. And I'm looking at it. And when I saw what I saw, it got to the point I looked away and kind of just like cleared I said, this eclipse is playing tricks on me. And I look up again and I can still see it. And it's traveling through the sky at a speed that's not natural, right? And I'm gonna tell you, like, just to kind of give you the vibe, just so you kind of get the vibe of what I was seeing. Imagine yourself just walking through the neighborhood, or imagine what it was like back when we were kids watching The Wizard of Oz. Do you remember when that Wicked Witch of the West was flying through the sky on that broom? Like to be outside, imagine you looking up seeing a witch fly through the sky. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't something that brought fear. It was just something that, like, we say, you know what? Like, what I'm seeing is not natural. To see somebody flying through the sky on a broom is not natural. I'm not saying that's what I saw, but because that's not what it was. But that's the energy that was associated with this thing going through the sky. And it was just like a shadow. It was just like the shadow of something. And I'm looking at this like, what in the world is that? But it's not natural. And I remember seeing this thing, and I tried to record it, but my camera wouldn't register. It wouldn't see it. And I watched this thing float off for maybe the next 15 to 20 seconds, just going way off in the distance to the point where I couldn't see it anymore. And I said, bro, that was wild. I said, I don't know what that was. I said, but you know what? I said, I'm not even going to tell anybody about this. I said, it wouldn't even do me any justice to describe it because it's going to sound crazy. I said, you know what? This is just something I'm going to say, man, I don't know what that was, and I'm going to go to my grave with it. Until I woke up this morning and saw people talking about that too, man. Now, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was, but I believe that. I don't know what I believe what that was. I'm curious to know if anybody else saw that or if anybody else has any explanation on what that could have been. But that was a wild, for anybody that saw that, that was a wild vibe, man. It gave me the vibe of, like, I don't want to say alien. I don't want to say it was something that wasn't natural of this planet, bro. But again, man, what I really want to talk about, man, was just the significance of the eclipse today, man. Like I understand now. Even all the hoopla, like people were saying, okay, in another 20 years, it'll be coming back. You know, and I know there will be a lot of youngsters in the next 2 or 3 years, and they'll be seeing those articles. And I understand that in 20 years, a lot of us may or may not even be here. But I understand the significance of it now, man. I understand that anybody that gets the opportunity to witness that, even, especially if they're on a path of enlightenment and understanding, brother, it's going to trigger some things inside of you. I'm not saying it's been a major something take place in my life, But I did believe from the get go that the eclipse was a sign of like a period of resetting. I can easily say that I am not the same person I was before I saw it.